Hello there, you're tuning into another news update of VTV News. I'm Thu Seung in Hanoi with the latest news headlines. The Hackathon, a playground for young Vietnamese IT talents. And later on, we'll take a look at how a festival has gathered global martial artists in the province of Bình Định. We'll now begin with the top news in this bulletin. A delegation of American Agent Orange victims visited the central coastal city of Da Nang as part of an exchange program to meet with Agent Orange victims of Da Nang on Saturday. Now, despite the language barrier, Agent Orange child victims from both countries still made strong connections with one another through sharing stories, playing games, and learning about the Agent Orange Victim Care Center in Da Nang City. The main purpose of this trip by American Agent Orange groups is to call upon the global community to continue supporting the fight for justice for Agent Orange victims in Vietnam. After Da Nang City, the American Agent Orange victim delegation will continue on to Ho Chi Minh City. While vocational trainees in other localities face difficulties in finding jobs after graduation, 90% of trained workers in Ho Chi Minh City can apply for a good job and find it eventually. According to local agencies, this high rate is due to an agreement between the training sector and the specific characteristics of the locality. Our report now from Củ Chi District, Ho Chi Minh City, will have further details.
This is a fourth course held by Lâm Thành Lợi in Củ Chi District. As the courses offered in-depth education about dairy cow disease, they attract many farmers. Through knowledge exchange and Q&A sessions, the best practices in dairy cow farming is conveyed to all attendees in an easy-to-understand and practical manner.
These lessons are necessary for us. How to treat diseases in cows has been discussed effectively. Previously, we used to have to call the vet to treat our livestock when they suffered from diseases, and sometimes the vet could come late. So this helps us a lot in giving them primary care.
The knowledge from these courses spreads out among the farming community and helps all the farmers as well as the cattle. Since 2003, the number of dairy cows in Nguyễn Hữu Phước farm has increased sixfold and fetches him an income of $1,500 per month. And on the Tien's farm is now the largest scale farm in the region. All farmers here have seen the benefits of training on their farms and have expanded their skill gradually.
I attended all classes offered by the Farmers Association and the other organizations and received my certificates. These classes are very useful, and when combined with our own experience, it adds lots to our existing knowledge.
Effective vocational training, together with a high demand for dairy products in the locality, have made a successful industry, with the number of cows increasing year by year. Also, incomes for 6,000 households in the region have also been kept stable.
Beforehand, many households here pursued rice farming or other kinds of cultivation, but it seemed ineffective or unreliable. We have launched a promotion campaign to encourage them to switch to dairy farming. Now everything seems to go smoothly.
Củ Chi District is a large dairy farming area that plays a vital role in the development of the regional economy. As such, farmers here are encouraged to participate in vocational training to understand more about the development and best practices of the industry. This model has yielded major successes and needs to be expanded in the future.
Now, although there seems to be no obvious relation between the words hack and marathon, when combined they make the word hackathon, the name of a competition for IT programmers. Since 1999, when the term was first coined in the United States, hackathons have taken place in many countries. And this will actually be the very first time hackathon has come to Vietnam, as we'll see in the following report. Our VTV reporter Thuy Linh has more.
30 teams of young Vietnamese programmers nationwide gathered in Hanoi for this first hackathon. They each came here with different skills and different purposes.
I think it's very competitive. You can see we have a lot of people here. Here in Hanoi we have about 30 teams. In Ho Chi Minh City even more than that. So I think it's very competitive, and everyone here has big ideas.
I found out about this competition through Facebook. I'm curious to see how the hackathon is organized in Vietnam. I hope to expand my network and learn from other talented programmers.
The programmers are given 24 hours to code their softwares. After that, each team has to show their demo and pitch their ideas in front of the judges and other participants. The best among these was Voicepedia. Their software is based on the concept of Wikipedia, but for blind people.
Wikipedia is the biggest online open source dictionary. However, it has a weakness that blind people cannot read the text. Therefore, we created this software to solve the problem.
This first hackathon was a collaboration between the Ministry of Technology and Science and Formation 8, a $250 million global venture capital firm. The organizers hope to discover new IT talents in Vietnam.
Chính phủ đã phê duyệt một chương trình quốc gia để
The government will give full support for the development of the IT sector in Vietnam towards 2020. We hope to see more IT startups and technology businesses following this competition. And we are very grateful to the Silicon Valley IT experts who helped organize this event.
Joe Lonsdale, the founder of Formation 8, decided to fund this event because he has faith in the future of the Vietnamese IT sector after his early exposure to talented Vietnamese engineers working in Silicon Valley.
So right now, one of our near-term plans is to find some of the very top engineers here and to build offices in Vietnam and potentially hire some great engineers in Vietnam. And my longer-term plan is, as we work with the talent here, to get to know them well and to hopefully get to be able to help some of them build their own companies here too. I think it's very important for Vietnamese youth to learn computer science. The other thing I'd say is it's very important to find other smart friends who you like to work with.
As a country with high percentage of young labor force, accounting 30% of the total population, Vietnam has high potential for IT development. Hackathon will open up a playground for IT lovers and would contribute to the long-term development plan for technology ecosystem in Vietnam. Thuy Linh, VTV International.
News. We travel now to the province of Bình Định, where the International Festival of Vietnamese Martial Arts is currently ongoing. This event, which highlights traditional Vietnamese martial arts, has featured various shows and activities since Friday. The festival has become a platform for martial artists across the globe to exchange their differing styles and experiences.
The Nunchaku, or star performance of young martial artist Minh Chi, became one of the highlights for this year's festival. His performance, which won him international awards, is made all the more impressive by the fact that Chi is just 10 years old and only began practicing martial arts last year. He represents the United States-based General Association for the Development of World Martial Arts and their wish to introduce Vietnamese traditional techniques to international friends.
I've practiced since I was 9 years old. I love martial arts because it helps me with my strength and health. I practice every day. My wrists become more flexible and I feel healthier.
Minh Chi is but one of the Honduras martial artists from 30 domestic and 58 international delegations performing at this year's festival. From Vietnam, 6 schools of Bình Định province, considered the cradle of the country's martial arts culture, were chosen to perform. The performing artists all share a passion for the techniques of Vietnamese martial arts, and each, depending on their experience, will perform in his or her own unique way.
A lot of different kinds of weapons, of bare-hand techniques, and also it's very supple. So even if you're small or tall or large or very thin, you can find something for you in it. And I think it's very linked with the history of the Vietnamese people. So all these different aspects are very interesting for me to study, even in France. Yeah.
We have found that there are many martial arts schools in Vietnam and that they train very hard. We're very impressed with the students' skills and the performances they've been giving.
Bình Định traditional martial arts dates back to the Tây Sơn Bình Định Martial Arts School in 18th century. At the festival, it has been recognized as a national tangible cultural heritage. This is the 5th time the province has organized the festival, which will run until August the 4th. It includes martial arts performances as well as folk games, a tuồng or classical opera competition, a photo exhibition, and a seminar on preserving traditional martial arts.
Recently, Vietnamese conglomerate Bitexco has asked the authorities of Quang Ninh province for the right to manage and use 2 local bays, including the UNESCO World Heritage Site Hat Long Bay. However, the provincial government has yet to make its final decision and has stated that cooperation with Bitexco will only be considered if it can assure a boost in service quality. They added that under no circumstances will the site's management rights be 100% under a private firm.
The main revenue from the Hat Long Bay tourism complex is generated through the entrance fee. In 2013, this UNESCO World Heritage Site made $9.5 million, 20% of which went to preservation work conducted by the site's management board. Related services including tours, expeditions, accommodation, and other added value services are still being run at an unprofessional level. According to a representative from the Hat Long Bay Management Board, cooperating with a private firm may help in terms of creating new ideas and connecting to foreign tour operators.
I believe that when they make an investment decision, they will have to do their best in terms of branding and achieving economic results. That way, the government, the firm itself, and tourists all benefit.
The concession fees, as suggested by Bitexco, would be $4.2 million for the first 3 years, $6.2 million for the next 3 years, and $7.6 million thereafter. Regarding profit sharing, Bitexco promised 20% of its profits to the Quang Ninh provincial authorities for their first 3 years managing the bay. The proportion would be 30% after 6 years and 50% after 10 years.
I think the most important thing in any circumstance is to preserve and promote the beauty of Hat Long Bay.
The provincial authorities are aiming for a public-private partnership in management and the exploitation of the site in order to improve on service quality. Specifically, management and preservation works will be assigned separately to improve effectiveness. Tours of the site or related services will be operated by a professional agency. Meanwhile, Quang Ninh province has asked Bitexco to make several changes to its proposal. Once these changes have been made, it will come to a final decision on whether or not to hand over management of the site.
And now for your updated weather forecasts.